Good evening, sir. I am Villar Jacob Ibrado from Base Cream 4C. Rule 110: Prosecution of Offense. Institution of Criminal Action. The process of initiating criminal action depends on whether a preliminary investigation is required. Offenses requiring PI. These offenses are defined as those where the penalties prescribed by law at least 4 years, 2 months, and 1 day, regardless of the fine. In such cases, the complaint must be filed with the proper officer, usually the prosecutor, for the purpose of conducting the PI. Offenses not requiring PI for all other offenses, the complaint and information can be filed directly with the municipal trial court and municipal circuit trial court, or the complaint can be filed with the Office of the Prosecutor in Manila and other chartered cities. The complaint is typically filed with the Office of the Prosecutor unless the charter specify otherwise. Complaint and information. A complaint is a sworn written statement charging a person with an offense. It is prescribed by the offended party and any peace officer or other public officer charged with the enforcement of the law violated. And information is an accusation is written charges a person with an offense. It is prescribed by the prosecutor and filed with the court. For a complaint or information to be sufficient, it must contain the following: name of the accused, designation of the offense, cause of the accusation, place of commission of the offense, date of commission of the offense, name of the offended party. Duplicity of offense. Rule 110 prohibits duplicity of offense, meaning a complaint or information must charge only one offense except when the law prescribes a single punishment for various offenses. Rule 111: A prosecution of civil action arising from criminal offenses. The interplay of criminal and civil action. The fundamental principle of Rule 111 is that civil liability arising from a crime is deemed institute with the criminal action. This means that when the criminal action is filed, the offended party can seek compensation for their damage without having to file a separate civil action. However, there are exemptions to this rule. Waiver of the civil action. The offended party can waive the right to seek civil liability in the criminal action. Reservation of separate civil action. The offended party can reserve the right to file a separate civil action before the prosecution present its evidence in the criminal case. Prior institution of civil action. If the offended party is already filed a civil action before the criminal action, the civil action will proceed independently. No civil liability in the criminal action. If the offense charged does not involve civil liability, the offended party can file a separate civil action. Prejudicial question. Rule 111 also covers the concept of prejudicial question, which is an issue in a civil action that is intimately related to the issue of criminal action and those resolution determines however the criminal action may proceed if the prejudicial question exists. Rule 112: Process of preliminary investigation. Defining the requirement requiring the PI. A preliminary investigation is a formal inquiry or proceedings conducted to establish probable cause, This means that must be enough evidence to suggest that a crime has occurred and that the accused is likely responsible. The purpose of this process is to ensure that only cases with sufficient evidence proceed to trial, preventing unnecessary delays and burdens on the court system. Officers authorized to conduct PI, provincial or city prosecutor under assistance, national and regional state prosecutors, judges and municipal trial court and municipal circuit trial court, other officers as authorized by law. The preliminary investigation procedures, filing the complaint, insurance of subpoena within 10 days of filing the complaint, respondent counter affidavit. The respondent has 10 days from receiving the subpoena, resolution of the investigating officer. After the investigating officer has 10 days to determine whether there are sufficient ground to hold the respondent for trial. Review of the resolution. The investigating officer resolution is subject to review by a higher authority, such as the provincial or city prosecutor of the ombudsman. They have 10 days to act on the resolution and inform the parties of their decision. Insurance Issuance of warrant of arrest is probable cause is found. The court may issue warrant of arrest. However, a warrant is not necessary if the accused is already under detention. Rule 113. Arrest. This rule defines the process of arrest, which is the taking a person into custody to answer for a crime. Key point of arrest. How arrest is made. An arrest is made by actual restraint or by the person's submission to custody. No necessary force should be used. Duty of arresting officer. The arresting officer must deliver the accused to the nearest police station or jail without necessary delay. Execution of warrant. A warrant of arrest must be executed within 10 days of receipt. Arrest without warrant. A peace officer or private person can arrest without a warrant in certain situations, such as when a person is committing an offense in their presence. An offense has just been committed and they have probable cause to believe that person committed it, or when the person is an escaped prisoner. Time of arrest. An arrest can be made on any day and any time of day or night. Rule 114. Bail. This rule governs the release of an accused person on bail pending trial. It outlines the different type of bail and condition of its grant and the procedures for its posting. Key points of Rule 114. Bail. Purpose of bail. Bail is intended to ensure the accused's appearance at the trial and to prevent their flight from justice. Right to bail. The right to bail is a fundamental right except in cases of capital offenses, offenses punishable by reclusion perpetua, or offenses where the evidence of guilt is strong. Type of bail. There are different types of bail, including personal, recognizance, cash bail, property bail, and surety bail. Condition of bail. The court may impose conditions on the grant of bail, such as posting of the bond, the surrender of travel document, or the prohibition from leaving the country. Procedures on posting bail. The accused of their representative can post bail with the court. Rule 115. Right of the accused. This rule enumerates the right of a person accused of an offense, which are both constitutional and statutory, except for the right to appeal, which is purely statutory. Section 1. Right of the accused at at the trial. To be presumed innocent until the contrary is proven beyond reasonable doubts. To be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation against him. To be present and defined in a person by counsel at every stage from arraignment to promulgation of the judgment. To testify as a witness in his own behalf but subject to cross-examine on matters covered by direct examination. To be exempt from being compelled to be a witness against himself. To confront and cross-examine the witness against him and at the trial. To have compulsory process issued to the secure of attendance of the witness and protection of other evidence in his behalf. To have a speedy, impartial, and public trial. To appeal in all cases allowed in all manner prescribed by law. Rule 116. Arraignment and plea. This rule governs the formal reading of the charges against the accused and their opportunity to enter a plea. It ensures that the accused understand the nature of the accusation and can make an informed decision about how to proceed. Key points of Rule 116. Arraignment. The accused is formally brought before the court to be informed of the charges against them. The court reads the complaint and or information, and the accused is asked to state their name, address, and other personal detail. Plea. The accused is then required to enter a plea to the charges. They can plead guilty. This means that the accused admits to the charges. Not guilty. This means that accused denies the charges and will proceed to trial. No plea. If the accused refuses to plead, the court will enter a plea of not guilty on their behalf. Effect of plea. The plea entered by the accused has significant consequence for the course of the trial. A guilty plea typically results in a conviction without a trial, while not guilty plea leads to the trial where the prosecutor must prove the accusation guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Rule 117. Motion to quash. This rule allows the accused to challenge the validity of the complaint or information before trial. It provides a mechanism for addressing potential defects of the prosecution case such as lack of jurisdiction, improper venue, or sufficiency of the charges. Key points of Rule 117. Grounds for motion. The accused may file a motion to quash the complaint or information on the following grounds: lack of jurisdiction over the offense, improper venue, sufficiency of the complaint or information, duplicity of the offense, existence of the previous judgment or acquittal, double jeopardy, prescription of the offense. Procedure. The motion to quash must be filed in writing and must sufficiently state the grounds relied upon. The court will then set a hearing on the motion where the parties can present their arguments. Effect of granting motion. If the grants motion to quash the complaint or information is dismissed, the prosecution may appeal the court's decision, but the accused cannot be tried again of the same offense if the dismissal of based on double jeopardy. Rule 118. Pre-trial. These rules provide for a pre-trial conference where the parties can discuss the case and attempt to resolve any issues before trial. The goal is to simplify the trial process, reduce the time and expense involved, the potential reach a settlement. Key points of Rule 118. Purpose. A pre-trial conference is intended to simplify the issues, amend the pleading, stipulate on facts and evidence, explore the possibility of settlement, determine the witness to be presented, set, set the date for trial procedures. The court will issue an order setting a date for the pretrial conference. The parties must appear at the conference and be prepared to discuss the case. Result: pretrial conference may result in a settlement of the case, a simplification of the issue. Rule 119, Trial. This rule governs the actual presentation of evidence and argument in court, ensures a structured and orderly process where both of the prosecutor and defense can present their case fully. Key points of Rule 119. Order of trial. The trial typically proceeds in the following order: opening statements, presentation of evidence, examination of witnesses, rebuttal and surrebuttal, closing arguments. Evidence rules. The rules of evidence are strictly applied during the trial to ensure that only relevant and admissible evidence is considered by the court. Judge rule. The judge presides over the trial rule on objected and the insurance of the trial is conducted fairly and impartially. Rule 120, Judgment. This rule outlines the procedures of the court to reach the decision in the case. The judgment is the formal pronouncement of the court decision, which can be either a conviction or an acquittal. Key point: conviction. If the court finds the accused guilty beyond reasonable doubt, it will render a judgment of conviction. The judgment will specify the offense, the penalty imposed, and any other order that the court deems necessary. Acquittal. If the court finds the accused not guilty, it will render a judgment of acquittal. This means the accused can release from the charges and cannot be tried against for the same offense. Judgment contains. The judgment must be in writing and must contain the following: the facts and circumstances of the case, the law applied, the reason of the decision, the penalty imposed, if applicable, promulgation. The judgment of formally pronounced the open court and copy is given to the parties. Rule 121. New trial or reconsideration. These rules provide a mechanism for the accused to challenge the judgment if they believe there are errors or irregularities in the trial. It allows a review of the case to ensure that justice is served. Key points. Ground for new trial. The accused may file a motion for a new trial on the following grounds: newly discovered evidence, irregularities in trial, misconduct of judge or the jury, error of judgment. Ground for reconsideration. The accused may file a motion for reconsideration of the judgment of the following grounds: error in the judgment, misapplication of the law, the judgment is contrary to the evidence. Procedures. The motion for a new trial or reconsideration must be filed in writing and must specifically state the grounds relied upon. The court will then set a hearing on the motion where the parties can present their arguments. Effect of granting motion. If the court grants the motion, a new trial is ordered of the judgment is reconsidered. Rule 122. Appeal. Provide the right to appeal an adverse decision to higher court within a specific period. Rule 123. Procedures in the municipal trial courts. Simplifier the procedural rule for cases heard in the lower courts to ensure sufficiency. Rule 124. Procedures in the Court of Appeals. governs the handling of criminal cases brought before the Court of Appeals, including procedures to review the decisions. Rule 125, Procedures in the Supreme Court, details the procedures for cases relevant to the Supreme Court, including automatic review of certain cases. Rule 126, Search and Seizure, regulates the issuance and execution of search warrant and issuance compliant with constitutional protection against reasonable searches and seizures.